Did you know that 74% of Americans wouldn't last 48 hours in an emergency? And if the supply chain collapses again, like it did during the pandemic, it could take just hours for grocery shelves to empty. Stick around, I'm showing you the 13 life-saving items most people ignore until it's too late. Hey everyone, I've been deep diving into survival trends, talking to preppers, ex-grocery managers, and even FEMA-trained experts, and what I uncovered is seriously unsettling. In this video, I'm breaking down the 13 essential items that could save your life during a blackout, natural disaster, or another panic-buying crisis. Some of these are things you'd never think to keep on hand, until it's too late. Whether you're a foodie who loves stocking up on snacks or someone who remembers the chaos of 2020, this list is tailor-made for you. Drop a comment below and tell me the last time you saw something disappear from store shelves. Was it eggs, baby formula, or maybe even toilet paper? By the end of this video, you'll understand why being prepared isn't paranoia. See, it's just plain smart. Let's jump right in. These are 13 affordable, easy-to-find items that could make all the difference when the lights go out. Some might surprise you. Okay, so we're starting with water. I know what you're thinking, duh, right? But hear me out. This isn't just about having a bottle under your sink, because if the power goes out and the taps stop working, that cute little Dasani in your pantry, yeah, it won't get you very far. Most people don't store nearly enough, and guess who does? FEMA. They say at least 1 gallon per person per day for 3 days. That means if you live alone, you need 3 gallons minimum. If you've got 2 kids and a dog, multiply that fast. But let's be real. Most of us don't have space for a mini water warehouse. So what's the solution? Portable filters, purification tablets, or even a life straw. These are game changers. You can literally turn sketchy looking puddle water into something drinkable. No joke. And here's another thing, water goes bad. Not overnight, but over time. Plastic bottles degrade. Algae can grow if it's not sealed right. So rotate your supply every 6 months, or label the bottles with dates so you don't forget. Oh, and don't forget your pets. They need hydration too. Add an extra ½ gallon per pet just to be safe. If you're really tight on space, think creatively. Bathtubs can be lined with clean plastic bags or water storage bladders. Yeah, it sounds weird, but when the grid goes down, you'll thank yourself. Also, keep some water in smaller bottles for quick grab-and-go moments, like if you need to evacuate fast. Don't underestimate how heavy big jugs can be when you're trying to sprint away from trouble. Number 2, non-perishable food. Yeah, food seems obvious too, but stick with me here, because when the power's out and the grocery store is closed, your go-to meal of avocado toast or a fresh salad isn't happening. So what are we talking about? Canned goods like beans, tuna, tomatoes, and soup. Shelf-stable stuff like rice, pasta, oatmeal, and peanut butter. Even protein bars or ramen packets count. The key is to stock things that last and that you'll actually eat without complaining for a few days. Here's the thing, people often forget rotation. You can't just buy a bunch of cans and forget them. Check expiration dates. Use what you have, then replace it. That way your emergency stash doesn't turn into a mystery pantry from 2018. Also, think about variety. Sure, you can survive on crackers and canned peas, but morale matters too. Keep some comfort foods around, like chocolate, coffee, or your favorite snack. It might sound silly, but when life gets weird, a little treat can feel like a hug for your soul. And don't forget cooking methods. If the power's off, how will you make that pasta or heat up a can of chili? A camping stove, portable grill, or even a simple manual can opener can be a literal lifesaver. Don't overlook special dietary needs either. If someone in your house is gluten-free, vegan, or diabetic, make sure your stash includes those options. Same goes for babies or pets. Formula, baby food, and pet food are easy to forget until they're needed. Bonus tip, keep a small stash in your car or go bag. Emergencies don't always happen at home. What if you're stuck on the road overnight? Having a few meals packed away could keep you going until help arrives. The goal isn't to live off these supplies forever, it's to get through the first few critical days when stores are closed, gas is out, and everything feels upside down. So yes, non-perishable food might seem like a no-brainer, but done right, it's more than just survival fuel, it's peace of mind in a can. Number 3, flashlight and extra batteries. Okay, so imagine this. It's nighttime, the power just went out, and you're fumbling around trying to find a working flashlight or your phone's flashlight, which dies after 5 minutes because the Wi-Fi's down and you're doom scrolling out of panic. Yeah, that's not a fun place to be. Your phone is not the answer here. It's too weak, drains fast, and if you can't charge it, you're stuck in the dark, literally. So what do you need instead? A good old-fashioned flashlight, not the flimsy dollar store kind either. Get a sturdy LED one. They last longer, are brighter, and can survive being tossed in a drawer or emergency bag. And don't forget extra batteries. Store them separately in a labeled bag so when the grid goes down, you're not scrambling to find AA or AAA batteries like it's a scavenger hunt. Here's a pro tip. Consider getting a hand crank or solar-powered flashlight. Some even come with USB ports to charge your phone in a pinch. That way you don't have to worry about dead batteries at all. Also, keep one flashlight by your bed, another in your car, and maybe even one in the kitchen, because trust me, when the lights go out during a storm or winter blackout, the first thing you'll want is light, fast. And no, candles aren't a substitute. Sure, they work, but open flames in a stressful situation, fire risk goes up, especially if you're distracted or tired. So yes, a flashlight might seem minor compared to food or water, but try navigating a dark house without one, and suddenly it becomes very important. Because when everything else goes black, having light isn't just helpful, it's essential for safety, communication, and keeping your cool when things get real. Number 4. First aid kit. Let's talk about something most of us overlook until we really need it, like when someone slices their finger open trying to open a can with a butter knife during a blackout. Because, yeah, injuries don't stop just because the power does. A good first aid kit is more than just a few band-aids and some cotton swabs. It should include things like antiseptic wipes, gauze pads, adhesive tape, pain relievers, allergy meds, tweezers, gloves, even a basic guide on how to treat minor wounds or burns. You don't have to be a nurse to use one, but having one handy could make the difference between a small problem and a big emergency, especially if hospitals are overwhelmed or roads are blocked. And here's the thing, accidents happen fast. A slip on a wet floor, a burn from lighting a candle, or even just a sudden allergic reaction. When you're stuck at home or on the move during a crisis, getting help might not be as simple as calling 911. So think about your household needs. Do you have kids, pets, allergies, chronic conditions? Customize your kit accordingly. Add medications you rely on, like an EpiPen or nitroglycerin tablets, and replace what you use before you actually need it again. Number 5, battery-powered or hand-crank radio. Now, this one might make you think of your grandpa's garage or an old-timey camping trip, but hear me out. When the power goes out and your phone dies, how are you supposed to know what's going on? If there's a storm heading your way, a missing person alert, or even a boil water notice, you need real-time updates. And that's where this little hero comes in. A simple battery-powered or hand-crank radio can keep you connected when everything else goes dark. Some models even pick up NOAA weather channels, meaning you'll get official emergency alerts straight from the source. And no, your phone isn't a reliable backup. Without cell towers working or Wi-Fi access, your fancy smartphone becomes nothing more than a touchscreen paperweight. So what should you look for? A radio that does more than just play static. Some have built-in flashlights, USB ports for charging small devices, and even solar panels so you don't have to worry about batteries at all. Keep one in your emergency kit, one by your bed, and maybe even toss one in your car. That way, whether you're sheltering in place or evacuating to higher ground, you're not flying blind. Think of it like having a lifeline to the outside world. You might not use it every day, but during a blackout, hurricane, or cyber attack that knocks out communication systems, this tiny gadget could be the only thing keeping you informed and safe. Because in an emergency, information is just as important as food, water, or light. Knowing what's coming could give you the edge you need to protect yourself and your family. So before you dismiss this as old school, ask yourself, when the grid drops and silence fills the air, will you be listening? Number 6, multi-tool or Swiss Army knife. If you've ever watched a survival show or even just helped your dad fix the sink once, you already know this little guy is pure magic. We're talking about a multi-tool or a classic Swiss Army knife. It's like having a toolbox in your pocket. Need to cut something? Check. Open a can without an opener? Double check. Tighten a screw on your glasses? Triple check. Most people don't realize how many tiny problems come up during an emergency that don't require a full garage of tools. But with one solid multi-tool, you can handle everything from opening packages to fixing a broken latch or even cutting yourself out of a jam. Literally. And here's the best part. They're small, lightweight, and easy to stash anywhere. Keep one in your car, one in your go bag, and maybe even one by the kitchen counter. Because when life gets messy, you don't want to be caught without it. Look for one that includes pliers, a blade, screwdrivers, a bottle opener, and maybe even a can opener if you're lucky. Some models even have a glass breaker or seatbelt cutter, super useful if you ever need to get out of a car fast. You don't have to spend hundreds to get something useful either. A basic model under $20 will do most of what you need. And if you're feeling fancy, some even come with LED lights or rulers, because why not? Number 7, emergency blanket. All right, so you're probably thinking, a blanket? Really? But not just any blanket. We're talking about that shiny, space-age looking emergency blanket that folds up smaller than a bag of chips and weighs next to nothing. And trust me, when things go sideways, this little guy is going to be your best friend. Because here's the deal. If the power goes out in the middle of winter, or you end up stranded in your car on the side of the road, you don't need a cozy throw from the couch. You need something that traps body heat fast and keeps you warm without catching fire or soaking through like a cheap towel. Emergency blankets, also known as space blankets, are made from ultra-thin reflective material that helps retain up to 90% of your body heat. They're windproof, waterproof, and shockingly durable for how light they are. Keep one in your car, toss one in your backpack, and maybe even stick one under your bed or in your emergency kit. You can use it for more than just staying warm too. Wrap it around a window to block drafts, use it as a ground cover if you're sitting on wet grass, or even as a makeshift rain cape if you're really creative. Number 8, fire starter. Now, I know what you're thinking. Fire? In this day and age, but hear me out, because fire is about more than just roasting marshmallows or looking cool on a camping trip. In an emergency, fire means warmth, light, and the ability to cook food or purify water when you don't have power or gas. And if things get really serious, it can even be used to signal for help. But here's the thing, just having matches or a lighter isn't enough. What if they get wet or run out of fuel? That's why you need a reliable fire starter that works when you need it most. Think waterproof matches stored in a sealed container, or a butane lighter with a wind-resistant shield. Even better, a ferro rod. Those are the metal rods that spark like crazy when you scrape them with a piece of steel. They last forever, work even when wet, and are seriously tough to beat in an emergency. And no, you don't need to be Bear Grylls to use one. Just keep it simple. Grab a basic fire starter kit with some dry tinder or cotton balls soaked in petroleum jelly. They catch fast and burn long enough to get a real flame going. Also, think about where you store these. Don't keep all your fire starting tools in one place. Put a set in your car, another in your go bag, and maybe even one hidden in your backyard shed or garage. Emergencies don't always happen at home, and you want options. Number 9, cash. Okay, I know this sounds weird in 2025, like suggesting you write letters instead of texting. But here's the hard truth. When the power goes out or the banking system gets hit, your debit card, it becomes a fancy piece of plastic with zero magic. You can't swipe it, you can't tap it, and no, Venmo won't help you buy bread from a local store that's suddenly gone old school because their point of sale system is down. Because here's what most people don't realize. Banks freeze, ATMs go dark, even credit card machines stop working when there's no internet or electricity. So if you're caught without any cash and the world hits pause, you're basically shopping with monopoly money. And trust me, during emergencies like hurricanes, blackouts, or even cyber attacks, stores will start only accepting cash. Some smaller shops might not reopen at all until power and payment systems are back online, which could take days or longer. So how much should you keep on hand? A good rule of thumb is to stash $50 to $100 in small bills, ones, fives, tens. Number 10. Important documents. All right, this one doesn't seem exciting, I get it, but trust me, when disaster hits and you need to prove who you are, what you own, or where you're allowed to go, you'll wish you paid attention. We're talking about documents like your ID, passport, birth certificates, insurance policies, medical records, and even property deeds. These aren't just pieces of paper, they're your keys to rebuilding, relocating, or getting help fast. Here's the problem. Most people keep everything digital or stored in a drawer that could flood, burn, or get lost in a rush. And during an emergency, going back for paperwork is often the last thing on your mind until you really need it. So what should you do? Start by scanning or taking clear photos of every important document. Save them in a secure cloud storage account and email a copy to yourself. That way, even if the physical copies are gone, you've still got access from any device. But don't stop there. Print out hard copies too and store them in a waterproof, fireproof folder or small safe. Think of it like an emergency file cabinet that you can grab and go. Also, make sure these documents are up to date. Expired IDs, old insurance policies, or outdated medical info can cause more trouble than they solve when time is critical. And here's something most people forget. Include a printed emergency contact list. Not just phone numbers, but emails, social media handles, and even physical addresses. What if your phone dies and you need to call someone from a landline or borrowed phone? If you have kids, keep their school records and vaccination history handy too. Some shelters or relocation centers might ask for them. Same goes for pet papers if you plan to evacuate with your furry friends. Don't overlook legal documents either, like wills, power of attorney, or custody agreements. In chaotic situations, having proof of authority or ownership can make a huge difference in getting assistance or accessing funds. You don't have to be a lawyer to organize this stuff. Just be smart about it. Label everything clearly, keep it together, and most importantly, make sure someone else in your household knows where it is. Number 11, medications. If you or someone in your home relies on daily meds, even something as common as blood pressure pills or an inhaler, you already know how important they are. But when the power goes out or the pharmacy shuts down, that importance jumps from routine to critical in a heartbeat. Because here's the reality. During emergencies, access to medications can dry up fast. Pharmacies close, supply chains get disrupted, and if you're evacuating or stuck at home for days, running out of a life-saving medication isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. So what should you do? Start by keeping at least a 7-day supply of every prescription you take regularly. Ideally, aim for 2 weeks if possible. Some insurance plans allow this with a doctor's note, so call ahead and ask. Don't forget over-the-counter meds either. Pain relievers, allergy pills, stomach medicine, even motion sickness tablets. These things keep you functional when stress and uncertainty start messing with your body. Store them properly too. Keep them in a cool, dry place, not in the bathroom where humidity builds up. A small plastic bin with a tight lid works great, and label everything clearly so you don't waste time digging through bottles when you need relief fast. Also think about how you'll identify each medication if the labels fade or fall off. A printed list with names, dosages, and purposes can be a lifesaver, especially if someone else has to help you during a crisis. And here's a tip most people miss. Keep a copy of your prescriptions. Either scan them and save them digitally, or store printed copies with your emergency documents. That way, if you lose your meds entirely, you can get refills faster, even at a different pharmacy. If you use specialized equipment like an EpiPen, insulin, or nebulizer treatments, make sure you've got backups stored separately and check expiration dates regularly. Nothing's worse than needing a rescue inhaler and finding out it's been expired since 2023. Number 12, sanitation supplies. All right, this might not be the most glamorous part of emergency prep, but it's one of the most important. Because when the water stops running and the stores are out of stock, staying clean becomes a whole lot harder and a whole lot more necessary. We're talking about things like hand sanitizer, disinfecting wipes, tissues, toilet paper, soap, and even garbage bags. These aren't just luxuries, they're essentials for health, hygiene, and basic dignity when life gets messy. Think about it. During a power outage or natural disaster, plumbing can fail, showers might not work, and bathrooms could become off limits. Without proper sanitation, germs spread fast, and in close quarters with family or neighbors. Number 13, manual can opener. All right, I know what you're thinking. A can opener, seriously? But trust me, this tiny little tool is the unsung hero of emergency prep. Because here's the deal. You could have a whole shelf of canned food, beans, tuna, peaches, even Spam, and it's all completely useless without a way to open it. And in the middle of a blackout or emergency when the power's out and your electric can opener is just a paperweight. That moment of realization hits hard. That's why a manual can opener belongs in every emergency kit. It's small, cheap, and doesn't need batteries or electricity. Just a few cranks of the handle and boom, you've got dinner. But here's something most people don't think about. Keep to, seriously, because things get lost. They break. Or in a panic situation, you might forget one when grabbing your go bag. So stash one in your kitchen drawer, another in your emergency kit, and maybe even toss one in your car or bug out bag just to be safe. Also, look for a model that's sturdy, not the flimsy kind that snaps after 2 uses. A foldable one with a built-in bottle opener is even better. Bonus points if it attaches to a keychain or multi-tool, and don't wait until disaster strikes to test it out. Try opening a can right now and see how it feels. Is it smooth? Easy? Does it leave sharp edges or jagged lids? If not, upgrade. Because the last thing you want is to struggle with dinner while hungry, stressed, and possibly in the dark. Here's another tip. Teach everyone in the house how to use it. kids included. Emergencies don't care who's in charge, so make sure everyone can grab a can and get it open fast. You'd be surprised how many people skip this step. They stockpile food like they're running a post-apocalyptic soup kitchen, but forget the one thing standing between them and starvation, a working can opener. So before you laugh this off as too simple, remember, survival isn't about fancy gear or secret skills, it's about having the basics covered. And when your stomach starts growling and all you've got is a wall of sealed cans, you'll wish you had listened to this warning. Because sometimes the difference between chaos and calm is just one little twist of a handle. Alright, so if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope this list gave you some real food for thought, pun absolutely intended. Whether you're a foodie who loves stocking the pantry, a budget saver always looking for smart prep tips, or someone who just remembers how wild things got during the last crisis, you now know the 13 items that could actually save your life. If this video helped you feel more prepared, smash that like button below. And hey, drop a comment and tell me what's the first item you're adding to your emergency kit. Or maybe you already have one of these and didn't realize how much it could help in a pinch. Don't forget to hit subscribe and tap that bell icon so you never miss another video like this. We cover everything from smart storage hacks to survival gear that won't break the bank, and yes, sometimes we even talk about snacks. Because let's be real, emergency food should still taste good. And if you know someone who thinks they're totally ready for anything until they're not, go ahead and share this video with them. Trust me, they'll thank you later. Stay safe, stay smart, and most of all, stay prepared.